A very good morning and thanks for tuning into Rajya Sabha television this Saturday morning. I am Ashwarya with the breakfast news. Let us start the news with the top headlines. Union Cabinet likely to consider an ordinance today to amend the POSCO Act, change to provide a death penalty for those convicted of raping minors till 12 years of age. Centre and state governments are mulling to bring petroleum products under GST. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan says working to address the ripple effect of surging global crude oil rates to bring relief to consumers. Move to impeach Chief Justice of India, a revenge petition, says a finance minister. Calls a notice a threat to judicial independence. 7 opposition parties led by Congress have given notices of impeachment to Rajya Sabha chairman, alleging CJI's misuse of authority. Commonwealth countries agree to work to strengthen cybersecurity frameworks and a response mechanism by 2020. Intergovernmental commitment at the end of a CHOGM in London. Prime Minister Modi meets German Chancellor in Berlin, discusses bilateral cooperation issues. And North Korea suspends all missile tests and shuts down a nuclear test site with immediate effect. Announcement ahead of Kim Jong-un's meeting with South Korean counterpart next week. US says move a big progress. Our top story this morning, an ordinance to award death penalty to those convicted of raping a child up to 12 years of age is likely to come up before the Union Cabinet today. The Union Cabinet is slated to meet this morning. Well, the centre had on Friday informed the Supreme Court that it is actively considering amending the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences or the POSCO Act to introduce death penalty to those convicted of sexually abusing children up to 12 years of age. The move comes following public outcry for death penalty to such sexual offenders, including the assaulters of an 8-year-old girl who was gang raped and killed in Kathua district of Jammu and Kashmir recently.
सजा देने का प्रावधान होना चाहिए और डेथ पेनल्टी मिलनी चाहिए, उसे आज सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने मान लिया है। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने ये चिट्ठी प्रोड्यूस की है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, जिसमें सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने साफ साफ लिखा है कि मेरी पीआईएल में मेरी रिक्वेस्ट की लाइन में के हिसाब से उन्होंने सेंट्रल पॉक्सो एक्ट में सेंट्रली अमेंडमेंट करने का प्रावधान शुरू कर दिया है और डेथ पेनल्टी छोटे बच्चों के साथ होने वाले दुष्कर्म के मामलों में जल्दी से जल्दी दिए जाने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
On to the other top story, the Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said that both central and state governments have started making up their minds to bring petroleum products under the goods and services tax regime. Pradhan said this while sharing the centre's concerns over high prices of petroleum products. He said that rising international crude oil prices is a major reason for the spiraling course. He added that petroleum products have to be brought under the purview of the GST. But since this is the first year of the implementation of the GST, so the states are a little concerned and hesitant about their income.
अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बाजार में पिछले 4 साल की सबसे ऊंची छलांग सीरिया की गड़बड़ी के कारण, ईरान में पुनः अमेरिका की जो धमकी आई है सैंक्शन लगाना, ये सब के कारण एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बाजार में इस तेल की भाव में उछाल आई है। जीएसटी को आखिर पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट के अंदर जीएसटी के अंदर उसको लाना पड़ेगा। पहला साल जीएसटी का है, इसलिए राज्य थोड़ा तटस्थ है, कैसे आमदनी होगा, क्या होगा। भारत सरकार, राज्य सरकार धीरे धीरे उस दिशा में मन बनाना शुरू किए हैं। हम भी चिंतित हैं, उसको कैसे ग्राहकों को थोड़ा निजात दे, राहत दे।
And in an unprecedented move, the Congress and 6 other opposition parties on Friday submitted as a notice for the impeachment of Chief Justice of India, Deepak Mishra. The motion submitted to Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu was signed by 64 MPs of 7 opposition parties. Well, it accuses him of misbehavior and misusing his authority. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley reacted to the move, calling it a revenge petition.
The impeachment motion against Chief Justice of India, Deepak Mishra, was given final shape on Friday at a meeting in Parliament of opposition parties led by the Congress. The opposition parties met Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu and handed over a notice for the impeachment with signatures of 64 MPs of the upper house. The MPs belong to the Congress, the NCP and the CPIM and the CPI, the SP, the BSP and the Indian Union Muslim League.
We have sought his removal under Article 217, read with Article 124(4) of the Constitution of India.
Listing 5 accusations of misbehavior against Justice Mishra, the Congress alleged that the independence of judiciary was being compromised and that the democracy was in peril. The opposition parties also demanded an investigation against the CJI.
Anyone occupying the office of the Chief Justice of India must be judged on the basis of the highest standards of integrity. The charges as stated suggest conduct unbecoming of a person holding the office of the Chief Justice of India.
Finance Minister and the leader of the opposition, Arun Jaitley, denounced the opposition's move in an article on Facebook. Jaitley said, and I quote, "The Congress party and its friends have started using impeachment as a political tool. To use the power as intimidatory tactics when neither you have a case of proven misconduct or the numbers on your side is a serious threat to the judicial independence. It is a revenge petition after the falsehood of the Congress party has been established in the Justice Loya death case." Unquote. Article 124(4) of the Constitution lays down the guidelines for impeachment of judges. A notice of motion by 100 MPs from the Lok Sabha or 50 MPs from the Rajya Sabha can be moved in either house. The chairman or speaker can accept or reject it. If in case the speaker or chairman decides to admit the motion, then a 3-member committee is constituted to investigate the charges. If the report of the committee is admitted, then both houses have to pass this motion by a 2/3 majority of the members present. The president then is approached for removal of the concerned judge.
The idea of impeachment was first proposed by the left front. The TMC and DMK initially favoured impeachment but did not sign the notice. Impeachment proceedings have been initiated against High Court judges in the past, but no judge has ever been removed from office. Reporting from Delhi with cameraperson Kavaljeet, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, in related news, the Supreme Court has said that public statements, including some being made by lawmakers on the impeachment of judges, is very unfortunate. The top court said this while hearing a plea that seeks to restrain the media from reporting on the issue of impeachment motion on Friday. The court said that we all are very disturbed about it. The Apex Court also sought the Attorney General's assistance to deal with the PIL that seeks restrictions on the media. And now on to news from Prime Minister's 5-day foreign visit. And during his brief stopover in Berlin, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that he had a wonderful meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. He discussed multiple aspects relating to bilateral cooperation as well as other global issues. That is what Prime Minister tweeted. He further said that the visit also demonstrates India's mutual desire to strengthen the strategic partnership. PM Modi's meeting with Merkel comes after German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier's trip to India last month, which focused on boosting economic and strategic ties between the two nations. And now our Foreign Affairs correspondent Akhilesh Suman joins us live from London. Akhilesh, Prime Minister Modi during his brief stopover in Berlin held talks with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. So what was the outcome?
See, the Germany leg of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit was also in a way that connected to the whole European Union fragmentation. And after United Kingdom coming out of European Union, there is a new situation. And every country of Europe is very concerned about their own interest. And once Prime Minister Narendra Modi came here, he got a call from Angela Merkel and she invited him to talk to her, meet her over dinner. And whatever we are getting out of it, that it was very fruitful talk. So India, in a way that you can see that in this coming decade may be of India, because every country wants to connect with us, and both United Kingdom and European Union countries both are developed nations, and if they want to connect with us, now it is up how we can reap the utmost benefit out of it. It will depend upon our internal situation. It will also depend upon the bureaucratic efficiency, and it will depend upon our policies, how we can attract much more FDI than we are having.
Right, and after the talks, MEA also said that it demonstrates our mutual desire to strengthen our strategic partnership. You stay with us, Akhilesh, we'll just come back to you. Meanwhile, earlier Commonwealth countries unanimously agreed to take action on cyber security by 2020. In a landmark declaration at the end of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in London, the leaders of the bloc agreed to work closely to evaluate and strengthen their cyber security frameworks and response mechanisms. The release issued late last night termed the declaration as the world's largest and most geographically diverse intergovernmental commitment on cybersecurity cooperation. It followed an announcement by the UK government pledging up to £15 million to help the Commonwealth nations strengthen their cybersecurity capabilities. It also aims to tackle criminal groups and hostile state actors who pose a global threat to security. The leaders also expressed a strong support for the multilateral trading system and also adopted a 6-point connectivity agenda to boost trade and investment links across the Commonwealth. They also agreed on a bold, coordinated push to protect oceans from the effects of climate change, pollution and overfishing. All right, let's go back to my colleague Akhilesh Suman, who is joining us live from London. Akhilesh, speaking about the Commonwealth Summit, what was the outcome? Because the Commonwealth nations have unanimously committed to taking action on cyber security. What do you think India has gained from CHOGM and several bilaterals that were held on the sidelines?
Yes, true. It was very successful visit for India in a way that, that when you come to such type of multilateral forum, you have your own agenda also. And India had its own agenda. India's agenda is very clear that we have to engage with as many countries as possible. And you know that among these 53 nations of Commonwealth, even if you can have a good relation with 45 countries, they all have one vote in United Nations Organization and also in different international organizations. Yes. So India's interest in that they should be close to our own agenda, and our own agenda is two-pronged. One is against terrorism, and another is to reform the international organization, specifically the UNO, in a way that India gets its rightful position in the world. So the two-pronged formula needs cooperation and support for as many countries as possible. Okay. And the way it has gone, I think that Prime Minister Narendra Modi could correlate with many countries and as many countries as possible in the Commonwealth. And you know that the other thing, that International Solar Alliance was the brainchild of India. Yes. And then International Solar Alliance got very cheering support in this Commonwealth Summit. So in that way count also, you can see that India is gaining. As far as Britain is concerned, Britain has different concern. After coming out of European Union, Britain also wants to show that yes, we do have a grouping. We also are with nations of the world, and they are very close that yes, they are taking a bit nationalistic shift. But one thing is very clear, that as far as India-UK relations are concerned, it will be decided on case-to-case basis, because both have grown stronger on their views. India wants better immigration facilities in UK, but UK seems adamant that they don't want much more immigration and easier process for India and any other country in the world. So with UK, it will be one-to-one basis, and with Commonwealth, India will increase in its influence, use the opportunity to connect with as many countries as possible bilaterally. We will give some money to the Commonwealth Secretariat for a smooth functioning and also the function in a way that should be demand driven, not the donor driven. So India has made its mind very clear, and I think that when the follow-up actions India will take, it will gain much benefit to us as far as our engagement and relationship with many countries and most of the countries in the Commonwealth grouping.
All right, Akhilesh, thank you so much for all those updates there from London. And on to some other news now. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will leave for Beijing today to take part in the meeting of the foreign ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or the SCO, to be held on 24th of April. Ahead of that meet, Sushma Swaraj will meet her Chinese counterpart Wang Yi tomorrow to take forward attempts by both the nations to reset the ties following last year's Doklam standoff. The other issues of concern to India include the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, China blocking India's entry into the nuclear suppliers group, as well as its opposition to the efforts to list Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar as a global terrorist by the UN. Well, apart from Sushma Swaraj, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will also be in China to take part in the SCO Defence Ministers meeting. The SCO meetings are a prelude to the summit of 8-member group. PM Narendra Modi is expected to take part in this SCO summit to be held in the month of June. And in breakfast news, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news.
As on today, the inland fisheries contribute 65% of the fish production of the India. So we are one of the propagating the inland sectors, the productivity enhancement, which is we are looking with the state governments. We have categorized 100 nutri-fish index. If you take this fish, then instead of taking the capsules for the micronutrient vitamins, and you can reduce that thing.
Watch Eureka with Dr. B.K. Das, Director ICAR, Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, Kolkata, at Saturday 4 p.m. and Sunday 12 noon, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back after the break, and now let's get you all the news from poll-bound Karnataka. First news from the BJP camp, and the party on Friday released its third list of 59 candidates for the upcoming Karnataka Assembly elections. The BJP has fielded Gopal Rao from Chamundeshwari against Siddaramaiah. The party changed its candidate from Kolar Goldfields and has given ticket to S. Ashwini. Now, with the announcement, the party has declared its nominees for 213 seats for the elections to the 224-member State Assembly. The party had released its first list of 72 candidates on 8th of April, followed by the second list of 82 candidates on 16th of April. Meanwhile, the JDS has announced its second list of 56 candidates for the Karnataka Assembly election, and the party fielded its state unit chief H.D. Kumaraswamy in a second constituency. He will now also be contesting from Channapatana constituency, apart from the Ramanagara, which was announced in the first list. And in the second list, the party has also accommodated several aspirants from the BJP and the Congress who joined JDS after being denied tickets from their respective parties. Now, JDS was the first to announce a list of 126 candidates in February itself, much before the poll dates were announced. The party, led by former Prime Minister H.D. Devegowda, is in alliance with the BSP. And Asaduddin Owaisi-led AIMIM has also announced its decision to back the JDS. And Congress leader N.Y. Gopalakrishna on Friday joined the BJP. The switch of the parties took place in the presence of BJP's chief ministerial face, B.S. Yediyurappa. Remember, Karnataka is going to polls on 12th of May to elect its representatives for the 224-member assembly. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is likely to take a call today on contesting from Badami in North Karnataka as well, after discussing the issue with Congress President Rahul Gandhi. However, he has filed his nomination from Chamundeshwari constituency in Mysuru. Siddaramaiah won from Varuna districts in both 2008 and 2013 with significant margins. But this time around, his son will be contesting from Varuna constituency. And now news from West Bengal. The Calcutta High Court on Friday quashed the State Election Commission's order cancelling the notification for the extension of deadline for filing nominations for Panchayat polls in West Bengal. The court directed the commission to reschedule the dates for the Panchayat election process and accordingly conduct the polls. Now, the court was hearing petitions filed by the BJP, CPIM and other opposition parties. The Panchayat elections in West Bengal were to be held in 3 phases from 1st to 5th of May, and the counting of votes was initially scheduled for 8th of May. On to some other news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will confer the Awards of Excellence in Public Administration at an event in New Delhi today. The awards will be given for effective implementation of identified priority programs and innovation. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Friday inaugurated the 2-day Civil Services Day event in New Delhi, and addressing the function, the Vice President said that it is our collective responsibility to work together to realize the dream of a new India. The day is an occasion for civil servants to rededicate themselves to the cause of citizens and renew their commitment to public service and excellence in work.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said there is an urgent need for an honest introspection into the effectiveness and efficiency of administrative structures and processes. Inaugurating the 12th Civil Services Day, Vice President Naidu urged civil servants to involve people in the implementation of government programs. He said that the responsibility to successfully implement government policies rests on civil servants.
Unless people are involved in these schemes, you will never be able to succeed. For involving the people, you have to educate the people. You have to clear their doubts. You have to guide them. And you have to involve them. There has to be transparency and accountability. Then only people also will start taking part in this. The civil services has to reorient their approach to look upon themselves as the catalysts of change, as facilitators of change, as inspirational leaders for the aspirational India. So there is no dearth of schemes. There is no dearth of mandate. There is no dearth of leadership. What is required is move forward. But the change cannot happen overnight unless there is a collective effort by all of us and particularly the civil services.
Emphasizing on the need to serve people, he called on the civil servants to encourage use of new techniques and innovations for better implementation of government schemes. He also said that everyone needs to work hard to change Swaraj to Surajya. He said that business as usual approach cannot be allowed to continue.
Mere getting a new bill is not going to suffice. Bringing as many bills. Along with the bill, the politicians need to have a political will and you need to have an administrative skill and then go for a kill of the social evil. Then only it will succeed. It's not possible without the government's political will. I do agree. We had a Nirbhaya Act. We had so many acts. But what is happening? We have a SC/ST Act. We have a Dowry Act. What is happening? So you have to change the mindset. And you have to change the attitude of the people. And you have to motivate. And the law also must take its own course. That is what is required.
The Vice President said that the long-term benefits of reforms like GST and demonetization are visible now. The Vice President also gave out awards to best-performing civil servants. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Our top international focus. In a major announcement, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has said that he will suspend all missile tests and shut down a nuclear test site with immediate effect. The Korean Central News Agency reported, quoting their leader, that nuclear tests and launches of intercontinental ballistic missiles will be halted as the regime no longer needs them, adding that the decision is aimed at pursuing economic growth and peace on the Korean peninsula. Meanwhile, after the announcement, US President Donald Trump tweeted, "This is a very good news for North Korea and the world. Big progress." And a spokesperson for the South Korean president also called the North's move as meaningful progress. The developments come ahead of Kim Jong-un's meeting with his South Korean counterpart Moon Jae-in next week. And the North Korean leader is also expected to hold an unprecedented summit with US President Donald Trump by June this year. And that's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. But news and updates continue on your channel. Thanks so much for watching.